The Philadelphia Eagles have agreed to a one-year deal with linebacker Shaq Leonard. Is he enough to fix the Eagles' defensive issues on this 2023 Super Bowl run? All that and more coming up right here on Locked On Eagles.
You are Locked On Eagles, your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you so much for making Locked On Eagles your first listen each and every day right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Louis DiBiase, joined as always by Gino Camilleri, and it's a bonus edition of LOE because, Gino, we got to get into the breaking news that the Eagles have added linebacker help. Help is on the way after getting destroyed against the San Francisco 49ers, 42-19, the final score on Sunday. The linebackers completely exposed Nicholas Morrow and Christian Ellis. General Manager Howie Roseman says, we got to do something about this, so he brings in former Indianapolis Colts linebacker, former All-Pro Shaq Leonard, to a one-year deal. The big question, though, is because we knew this has been something they've been considering for a few weeks. Is this enough, Gino? Because linebacker has been a massive problem for this team all year. Shaq Leonard, again, a former All-Pro, but is he that same guy? What kind of impact will he have?
I don't think it's enough, but it's a good start. There are things that we'll talk about in the second part of the show. What else do they have to do? But right now, it's an impact and an upgrade over what you put out there yesterday. Simply put, Nicholas Morrow was not great in coverage. Christian Ellis continues to, an understatement. Christian Ellis continues to be a liability there as well. Nakobe Dean was going to be the plan. Zach Cunningham turned out to be the best one. Well, Nakobe Dean is hurt. Zach Cunningham is hurt. You had to do something. It feels like, Lou, to me, going back to last year, bringing in Linval Joseph, bringing in Ndamukong Suh on that defensive line. Where are you bringing in like a 5-star prospect? No, you're bringing in a depth piece that is going to help you when there are situations like yesterday that you can't even put out another linebacker because that only other linebacker is Ben Van Summeren, who's just elevated off the practice squad as an undrafted free agent.
And if you do put out a linebacker, odds are the result is not going to be good because the Eagles just don't have enough talent on this team. Christian Ellis played, north of 70% of the snaps, and the 49ers made them pay for that. So, yes, is he the all-pro player that's suddenly going to fix the issues that we thought Nakobe Dean would this year when they let TJ Edwards and Kazir White go in free agency? No. But he's an upgrade over, to me. He's a lengthier player, which is going to help in coverage compared to Nicholas Morrow. And he's overall just a better player. Nicholas Morrow, he hasn't had a bad year, but, yesterday the 49ers Kyle Shanahan showed that they can pick on him in coverage. He allowed 151 yards after the catch by himself yesterday. That is not good enough. So Shaq Leonard, to me, is an upgrade in that way. You need a depth because you don't want to rely on, even if Morrow plays still, you don't want to rely on Christian Ellis. You don't want to rely on any other linebacker on this team. But I will say, temper your expectations. This is not the Shaq Leonard, to me, of 2019, 2020 that's winning all pros. It's an every down linebacker that's, elite in tackling, in coverage against the run as well. There's a reason that he lost snaps in Indianapolis this year. After the surgeries, it looks like he's lost a step. So to me, again, it's an issue that I think they fixed a little bit with Leonard, but honestly, I'm more focused on just getting Zach Cunningham back healthy. I think at this point of the season, there's nobody else really in free agency that's worth bringing in. Nakobe Dean, I don't know if he's going to come back this year. The trade deadline has passed. Leonard's the best you could get, but I'm a little more focused on just getting Cunningham back because I think they showed on Sunday they really missed him in the lineup.
And I think it's going to give you the optionality going forward that you are going to have a true competition these last couple weeks to find out who could be that guy next to Zach Cunningham because somebody is going to have to step up. And you truly hope that is Shaq Leonard because it is evident if you watch that San Francisco game, these guys got picked on. One of the biggest plays of the game is Deebo Samuel just going out of the arms of Nicholas Morrow, who just stopped moving his feet and just couldn't tackle him.
How about that big wheel route from Christian McCaffrey where Nicholas Morrow just wasn't in the same zip code?
No, they run a little up and out wheel route. They get him on a choice route. Nicholas Morrow is running the out, and by that time, Christian McCaffrey is already separated 5 yards upfield on the up route, and they just didn't have anybody that could counter the best team that they have played so far in terms of a matchup. And they're going to see within these next couple games against Dallas, who maybe that's the biggest reason why you wanted to get him, was to keep him out of the hands of the Dallas Cowboys.
It was between the two, yeah.
He's going to have to make an impact in these next 2 games. That's really going to be the test, because the last 3 games, you got the Giants twice, Arizona. You really want to see what Shaq Leonard can do against this better competition in Dallas and Seattle. He's not even signed into the practice squad. He's on the 53-man roster.
Instantly.
He's here. He's the reinforcements. Is he going to take this team to the next heights? I wouldn't say that, but he's going to be a good depth piece to have, even in terms of helping out those young linebackers. It is a younger linebacker core outside of a guy like Cunningham. Help Nakobe Dean, help just a different point of view from a sense of what he sees on the football field. It can't hurt them after yesterday, Lou.
I agree.
It's a low risk, potentially high reward type of signing. And I can't imagine the money is too much on this deal.
Can't imagine either. I think he's going to play right away this Sunday against Dallas. It's a huge game. Zach Cunningham right now out with a hamstring strain. Nakobe Dean is on injured reserve. If these 2 linebackers come back and Shaq Leonard and Nicholas Morrow are still on the roster, what do they do moving forward? We'll get into that coming up next right here on the Locked On Eagles podcast. Today's episode of the Locked On Eagles podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. This time of year can be a lot, and it's natural to feel some sadness or anxiety about it. But adding something new and positive to your life can counteract some of those feelings. Therapy can be a bright spot amid all the stress and change, something to look forward to make you feel grounded, and to give you the tools to manage everything going on in your life. Again, this is a tough time of year, even just with the weather changing. If you're in the Northeast, daylight savings, online therapy can really help. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can also switch therapists anytime for no additional charge if it's not the right fit. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOn today to get 10% off your first month. Once again, that's BetterHelp.com/LockedOn to get 10% off your first month of online therapy.
This episode of LOE is also brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. Lou, it's holiday time, and I don't know if you know this, but the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be playing on Christmas, and they're also going to be playing on the day before New Year's Eve. If you want to have a family fun outing at Lincoln Financial Field, I'm sure it's going to be a snow game. It's going to be a good environment, and a lot might be on the line. There's only one place to go to get your tickets, and that is Game Time. If you want to see the exact view that you are going to get with your seat, they have it right there. No need to even click into the details. They have it right on the scroll screen, and they can make sure that you have a guarantee. You don't even have to worry about anybody trying to con or scam you. It is a guaranteed ticket. When you buy it, they make sure that it ends up in your hands. Once again, go to Game Time, download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Make sure you go to Game Time, get the app, use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Use it on a loved one this holiday. Go to an Eagles game. Where else would you rather go? It's a good gift, easy way to support one of our sponsors, and we always thank Game Time for being one of the sponsors of LOE. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We thank you so much for making Locked On Eagles your first listen each and every day. It's a bonus edition of the show. As breaking news, the Philadelphia Eagles have agreed to a 1-year contract with former Indianapolis Colts linebacker Shaq Leonard. Much needed. Nicholas Morrow was just abysmal on Sunday against the 49ers. So was Christian Ellis. We don't know the severity of Zach Cunningham's hamstring strain. Hopefully, if he doesn't play this week against Dallas, he will return the following game against the Seattle Seahawks. But your supposed every down green dot leader at linebacker, Nakobe Dean, he's been out for a while. Still an unknown timetable with him if he'll return in 2023, Gino. So, again, I don't think Shaq Leonard is the end-all, be-all, the main fix at this position this year. I don't think that's going to come until 2024 if Howie decides to invest some sort of premier asset in this position, which, again, he normally doesn't. But I think it's good depth. I think it's an upgrade over what you have with Morrow and Ellis. But the question is, because Cunningham is not expected to miss the year, right? He's probably only going to miss another game, 2 at most. When he comes back, if potentially Nakobe Dean does come back this year, what do you think the rotation will look like with those 4? Between Dean, Cunningham. Let's focus more on Cunningham, Morrow, and Leonard.
I think Leonard has the expectation, and he's kind of going to get the keys right away to say, hey, can you sink or float in this system, right? And right now, I would have to give the favor to Morrow and Nakobe Dean. He'll probably get it when he comes back. But if Dean doesn't come back, I would have to say it's got to be a combination of Shaq Leonard and Nicholas Morrow next to Zach Cunningham.
Rotating,
I think Cunningham,
right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Cunningham is far and away still the best linebacker on this football team. And Shaq Leonard, he is going to be an upgrade over what you have. I think Christian Ellis is, I'm not going to say the name of number 47, Nate Geary level bad, but there are times that he's a liability on the football field, and Nicholas Morrow in coverage was a liability yesterday. But he's good coming downhill, Lou. I think he has a good track record this season of affecting the pocket. He does good stopping the run, plugging his gaps. We'll see what Shaq Leonard has when it comes to a coverage perspective, because that's what it might come down to. It might come down to, can we put two guys that are simply just run-stopping linebackers out on the field at once? No, you couldn't, because that's what happened yesterday.
Excited. That's why I'm not super excited about the signing, because yes, he's an upgrade over what Nicholas Morrow is, but I think his strengths right now are kind of the same as Morrow, where he's probably good at coming downhill, a good solid tackler. But Gino, in coverage, that's where the Eagles clearly had issues at linebacker, was through the passing game on Sunday against the 49ers. And I don't know if, again, his coverage grade from PFF is pretty solid. It's above an 84, which is pretty good among their coverage metrics. Of course, there's lots of different analytics to, it does vary per platform, but at the same time, is he a guy that's going to play all three downs and fix that need? I'm not sure. That's again why I'm focused on Cunningham, because I think he's the better coverage linebacker right now. But I think you're right. I think eventually when those three guys are all at full strength, it'll be Cunningham as your every down guy, and then rotation of Morrow and Leonard.
Could that win you a Super Bowl? Potentially.
I still think it's good enough, Gino. That's the thing is, yes, you're going to win with or in spite of linebacker this year, but the Eagles, that's what they've been doing for 8 years, and I don't like the extreme that they've taken it to the last calendar year, but it hasn't stopped them over the last 8 years for contending for championships. So I still think it's good enough. I mean, they can't be as bad as they were against the 49ers, and they need more dime packages and more help from Sean Desai, their defensive coordinator. But I don't think it's something that'll derail them to the point where they can't compete. They're still 10-2 and the 1 seed in the NFC.
People forget that Donnell Ellerbe started a Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles at linebacker next to Nigel Bradham, and they won the whole freaking thing. So you have to hope that it's good enough. It's getting better than you were yesterday, and that's what Howie Roseman does best. I think he's not going to sit on his hands. He's not going to sit there and have the bat on his shoulder when it's the third strike looking. He's going to take a swing. Does it work? We'll see. Does it put them in Super Bowl contention? I think it gives them just a good footing to have that depth to be there in January and February if it were to come to it. But is this a Anthony Davis at the deadline type of signing for the Lakers? No, absolutely.
It's not even Kevin Byard to me, but I think it will be an upgrade. The Philadelphia Eagles agreed to a 1-year deal with linebacker Shaq Leonard. Make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Eagles podcast, a whole nother show tomorrow for you, diving into this signing and more of a recap on that brutal game. 42-19, the final score. The Eagles lose to the 49ers. Thanks so much for making Locked On Eagles your first listen each and every day. For Gino Camilleri, I'm Lou DiBiase signing off. As always, thank you for downloading, thank you for watching and listening, and let's go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.